Conversations with Sandy and Friends, a weekly talking segment with invited guests, best-selling authors, international speakers, coaches, and business leaders. A collective conversation aimed to empower, encourage, inspire all that listen. So welcome to our show, Coffee Conversations with Sandy and Friends.
Welcome to Coffee Conversation and Book Talk with Sandy. I am super excited to be with you on today. We are Coffee Conversation and Book Talk with Sandy podcast, and we are powered by CPR Media Network. We are on doing an author tour, so we're super excited to be with you here on a Thursday afternoon. We've got several authors that have joined our tour. So I want to first of all thank each and every one of you that have reached out and yes, are participating and even supporting these amazing, amazing authors. I'm telling you, they are magnificent. Their stories are incredible, and that's what it's all about. I am Dr. Sandy Sanders. I'm the host and creator of the Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy podcast, where we host authors, anthology book projects. And most of all, I say that it is for you. Why? Because you just might be looking for a good book to read. Today's guest, I'm telling you, I'm so excited. An amazing woman of God who definitely is a trailblazer. She sets the pace. Her name precedes her, of one that is a thought leader out of the area of, individuals that are looking to have their own nonprofits. She is a speaker. She's a global speaker, a philanthropist. Listen, I am talking about the phenomenal, yes, Dr. Sanja Rickette Stinson. I'm telling you, I met this lady during COVID, and when we all were getting to know many, many individuals through virtual. And I'm so excited that over the years, she has continued to support our platform and find value in what we do. And so today, I have the honor and the privilege of sitting with, yes, Dr. Sanja Rickette Stinson. She has a solo book project that we're going to be talking about today. So before we bring Dr. Stinson on, I do want to again thank each and every one of you for participating and supporting all of our authors throughout our 6 years. And of course, you know, we do author tours about every quarter. And this month, I'm telling you, we have had a plethora of authors that have come through. And I'm very excited that we are continuing to provide you authors that sharing their stories, sharing their journeys. And so we do have our upcoming October group of authors that are getting ready. And so listen, just stay tuned. But today we are going to be sitting with Dr. Sanja Rickette Stinson, and we are going to be hearing from her latest project, Disrupt Imposter Syndrome and Boldly Shape Your Success. Excuse me. Our broadcast is sponsored by I Speak Her Totes, and that is the I Speak Her Totes designed by none other than Dr. Nikki Ziegler. So you'll be hearing from her information, as well as P. Hankins LLC Coaching, Transformational Coaching Program, who is also a sponsor of our podcast. So before we bring on our guests at this time, we're going to do our intro. Hey, Brenda, thank you so much for joining on this Thursday afternoon. Thank you so much. I certainly appreciate it. And listen, if you will, just stay tuned. We're going to do our intro. And after that, the next voice that I will be bringing up is our today's guest, the one and only, yes, Dr. Sanja Rickette Stinson. If you all will, go ahead and share it out. I'm going to be doing some sharing as well. So just stay tuned and I will be right back.
Conversations with Sandy and Friends, a weekly talking segment with invited guests, best-selling authors, international speakers, coaches, and business leaders. A collective conversation aimed to empower, encourage, inspire all that listen. So welcome to our show, Coffee Conversations with Sandy and Friends.
Yes. And welcome to Coffee Conversation. Yes, thank you guys for tuning in. And again, you have tuned in to Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy podcast, where we are powered by CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network is a podcast and production distribution where we have podcast interviews, podcast coaching, podcast monetization courses, podcast website, commercial placement, and ad and product placement sponsorship opportunities. We are a new standard of podcasting, reaching over 350 million viewers worldwide and over 100 countries. Oh, I am just talking. I apologize. I'm on mute. So you didn't hear me there. Yes, talking about CTR Media Network, that we are heard in over 350 million viewers, households, 100 countries globally. And so we are very thankful to be on the CTR Media Network and part of the CTR family. Dr. Tina Ramsey, she will be on with me this evening at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to some and present to others. We are talking about, yes, Dr. Sanja Rickette Stinson is with me on today, and we are going to be talking about her incredible book that is called Disrupt Imposter Syndrome and Boldly Shape Your Success. Dr. Stinson, are you with me?
Yes, I am. I'm right here.
Hello. How are you doing today?
Yes. I'm here. I don't see myself, but I'm here in the studio.
Yes, I see you. You're right. I don't see you as far as your camera is on. I can do one of our infomercials.
There we go.
And then let's see if what
Do you see me now?
I don't see you on camera.
Okay, I'm on. I see myself.
You do. Yep. There you go.
Yeah. Right here.
Yes, beautiful. Yeah, there we go. There we
go. Technology.
Yeah.
What can we say about technology? Technology happens, okay? And we have to be very ready for technology. But I am here.
Yes.
And I am so excited to be here with you.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we have connected, but we stay connected on Facebook and all of that. And I'm so excited to be able to come in today during this real lunch hour, as I call it in some states, to talk about disrupt imposter syndrome and boldly shape your success.
Yeah. This is really good. You're right. We have shared your anthology projects. You are an award-winning visionary author, global, international, number one bestseller, and very in many categories. And you have really done something in your literary work to help us in leadership. And you did this journey as a serial entrepreneur, nonprofit founding CEO. You hold the roots in a generational legacy raised by entrepreneur parents.
Yes.
And your story and your background, your accomplishments have helped so many of us. And so it's an honor. It's an honor. I know there's a wealth of knowledge in you that we just want to sit with a pen and a piece of paper and see what Dr. Sanja gonna say.
Well, it is indeed an honor to be here, to be able to just talk about my newest book.
Yeah.
Disrupt Imposter Syndrome. And I'm very excited about this book because what I know is that many people are often reluctant to talk about imposter syndrome. often reluctant to understand what imposter syndrome is. So
Yeah.
let me briefly start with a definition of imposter syndrome that will help the audience understand what imposter syndrome is. Would that be helpful?
That sounds good.
So, imposter syndrome is the persistent feeling of self doubt that often comes over all of us, that causes us to believe that we don't deserve the success that we have, even when we have earned it. We have earned the degrees, we have earned the experience, we have the credentials, we have the credit, we have the credibility, but it calls us to really keep second guessing ourselves. And often it is exposed through fear and making us believe that we are a fraud, despite the evidence of our skills, accomplishments, and the qualifications that we bring. So that is a brief definition of imposter syndrome. It causes us to always be in a posture of second guessing
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
And it causes us to say, well, maybe I'm not ready yet. In the back of my mind, if I ask you a question right now, what is keeping you from writing that book? You
Mhm.
would, well, fear that no one will read it. So fear and that you don't deserve it. I believe everyone has a story. So that's a brief definition of what imposter syndrome is.
Thank you. And we're hearing that term, and we didn't really have a definition for those things that you, as you gave us the definition of
Mhm.
thinking that we were not good enough, thinking that we didn't belong in the room, we didn't have enough to, we couldn't bring anything. What could we bring to the table?
Mhm.
We lacked some of the credentials that maybe others.
Mhm.
Do you feel, Dr. Sanja, is that it's a cultural thing, or are you finding it because you work with women of different nationalities and
Mhm.
ethnicity, their nature, their natural, who they are, their race, bottom line. Uh,
Mhm.
do you find it across the board, or are you seeing it more in women of color?
Well, one of the things that the Psychology Today just did a research on it in 2024. Indeed, at least 70% of individuals will experience imposter syndrome,
Mm,
but the number gets even higher, 75% for women and especially women of color.
uh,
And in the climate that we in, I call it from the biblical sense, the dispensation that we in,
yeah,
with so many people losing their jobs, over 300,000 women, I understand, and it may be higher, have lost their job. The data shows that it is mostly affected by women. Now, be clear, men do have that challenge, but it's
mhm,
mostly affected by women. And what I want to bring to mind is that we must be careful. Imposter syndrome is not a disease. And I'm going to say that again. It is not a disease. It is a mindset that can be challenged and changed with affirmation, disrupting it, and awareness. Those are the actions that we have to take. And it can commonly creep up when we don't know it.
yeah,
That inner critic that always talk to us, you're not ready, you're not enough, no
mhm,
one's going to read your book. What makes you think that you have the authority or the audacity to write a book?
right.
That's when that inner critic creeps up on us. So
Mhm.
yes, it is affected mostly by women right now, statistically showing, but it is not impossible for men to also have a range of imposter syndrome.
Yeah, and that's really, really good. Those of you that are tuning in, you may be listening now. Yes, we're having a midday, as Dr. Sandra said, we're having a lunchtime conversation, coffee conversation with Sandy. So I'm so honored to have this great woman of God come to the table, and let's talk about her latest book project. We're going to be putting in the chat of how you can purchase this book. It is available in several different formats, and so this book, Dr. Sanja, we're going to let the readers know, is that you've got this book as a call to action, urging women to break free from the shackles of imposter syndrome, as we were just discussing, and embrace their unique strengths. The deeply personal journey shared will help you unravel the layers of self doubt, gain insight, and into overcoming those obstacles. In this book, you'll find a roadmap. Oh, I'm loving it. A roadmap to resilience guided by power of faith. And that leads into my conversation. You truly are you're a licensed minister and a woman of faith. And so to step out and help other women, I find it as well that women that are ministers, evangelists, that are in leadership in ministry fall into this category. We struggled for so many years until we have people like you that help us. Are you finding the same thing in your research?
Yeah, let's talk about the struggle mode that's hidden.
Yeah.
Struggle, in what we do, we have to juggle as women,
Yeah.
Education, career, ministry, and family.
Yep.
And oftentimes we don't take the time to pause and actually name what's happening. And so we push through, and yet years later, or maybe right now, as we slow our pace, as I did, to take time to reflect, to say, what is this that I'm always talking to my inner critic? Your parents told you not to talk to yourself or don't answer yourself, but we talk to that inner critic.
We
And
have
as we have to, and as we have been able to slow down and reflect that inner, because we're juggling family, we're juggling ministry, we're juggling entrepreneurship, and we're juggling and not taking the time to pause. It feeds into what we describe now as imposter syndrome. Today we live in an era where it is imperative that we learn to pause and slow down and call it what it is, so it does not stop us from boldly stepping into our success. And another point I want to point out is that the timeliness of this book that many people have asked me about. The world is constantly shifting. We are constantly pivoting. And women leaders are constantly in the struggle of asking what's next. And we're battling with our mental health challenges.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of conversations about rest, and there's a lot of conversations about pause, and there's a lot of conversations about setting boundaries and having that reset and really looking at our personal life. And so in this book, I challenge the readers to be willing to boldly just disrupt something and actually take steps on reshaping the narrative and owning your own success. We've been taught what I call humility, where you got to be humble and you need to be humble. But humility is good, but and it is taught in most of our cultures, but too much of it has the tendency to feed into imposter syndrome, where we don't want to celebrate our achievements because they're saying, well, you're not being humble. And so, but there's nothing wrong with taking those small steps and celebrating your achievements. Take me as an example. I was an older adult when I decided to go back to school, and I didn't take time to pause and celebrate every plateau of degree and every plateau of learning that I did. I didn't take the time to celebrate until as I progressed and got just a little bit older, I paused and said, why are you always questioning what God has already told you you can do? We're fearfully and wonderfully made. That's what he says. We're made in his image. And so we can sometimes take humility to the next level where it causes us not to celebrate. Celebrate who and what we've done.
Did that come over the years as you began to have that self-awareness that, take time to celebrate your accomplishments, as you said, that so did that come did that come over the years that as you realized, hey, you celebrated me?
Right. It came over the years. As you know, I've written in many of my books that I suffer from a learning disability and a speech impediment. And sometimes you can still hear it, and I sometimes struggle to say those words. Well, even in that situation, it came over the years where I had to pause, that I've overcome those plateaus and that speech impediment, even though some of it's still visible, some of it's still there. But now I've taken the opportunity to pause and celebrate the fact that educators said that you would never really accomplish higher education. I take the pause. It's not
Yes.
a egg in the face, but it is that I have done this and I have deserved to celebrate that I've overcome what educators never said that I couldn't. And years later, look at me now.
Look at you now.
Then that, and then we'll say, well, you're not being humble. Well, then humility sets in. And so then humility will feed into, as I said earlier, imposter syndrome and cause us not to celebrate even the small wins.
Oh my goodness, I have questions all coming out, and I'm like, do we misunderstand what it means to be humble? We got to say a great big shout out to the amazing, phenomenal Dr. Dorothy P. Wilson. If anybody don't come in here and support, I know she gonna do it.
Yes,
I
yes. I love my sister. Yes.
She's in the audience, and yes, indeed. So, hey, Dr. Dorothy, thank you so much for coming through. We appreciate you. But getting to that point, yes. Do we, and before you began to shed light, did we misunderstand what it means to be humble? Do you think?
I think that we did. I think that we're of the baby boomers or the generation X. And we're taught.
Yeah.
Well, don't be so bold. Don't be so boastful. Don't celebrate. We're taught. Don't give yourself a birthday party. Don't give yourself a party. Well, why not? Give yourself a party. Okay. If no one else gives yourself a party, give yourself a party. You're able to celebrate you, and then invite those individuals who you want to celebrate with you.
Yes.
Okay with that.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's how imposter syndrome sets up. Yes, I think humility, and I'm a preacher, I think humility is overrated when it comes to I achieved that. Okay. I achieved that. Even God himself achieved his son dying on the cross, and he got up the third day and he gave them all power. That's a celebration right there. Why aren't we celebrating what we have accomplished?
Yeah. And that, and again, we can relate, because we can talk about it, and I'm gonna say we can talk about our own culture. I grew up hearing the same thing. And so now I'm thankful that there are our children, our grandchildren. I have great grandnieces, and I'm forever affirming them. I learned how to, because I had to learn how to affirm myself, Dr. Sanja. I had to learn how to do that, and then others also help affirm to get me up out of that space of imposter syndrome. We didn't know what it was. I didn't know that's what it was.
Well, it's not anything that's that it's not as visible. It is new. They called it something else at some time, but for women, we often hide behind the mask of capacity, resilience, being strong, when we must recognize one of the first struggles in that is imposter syndrome. And so, yes, we have taken humility to a level where it has taught us, as we go back in our generation, not to celebrate who we are. And here creeps in that inner critic, that imposter syndrome, that need to say, well, I don't want to celebrate because I don't want people to think that I'm boasting. No, we have to. Sandy, I mean, you have a phenomenal show. Celebration is in order. It's okay to celebrate the milestones that you have had. If you've been doing it for 10 years, or if you've been doing it for 2 years, you made it over 2 years. The average entrepreneur pursuit doesn't last for 3 years. Listen, if you made 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, my God, people celebrate that. Women celebrate what you have been through, because no one knows your struggle. It wasn't all peaches and creams. There was some struggles and some ups and downs and some tears and some doubt that you wouldn't get there. But then that doubt would creep in and say, you shouldn't say it, because everybody know you were struggling, things like that. We beat our own self up. Stop beating yourself up. Write your own narrative. Rewrite that narrative.
and that you are doing and have done, and to share your incredible story. Listen, we're going to take a pause, and I am with Dr. Sanja today. Yes, I am. She is sitting, and we've got, listen, I got my pad and my piece of paper here. I am just taking notes and having this great conversation with Dr. Sanja Rickette Stinson. On today, I want to share one of our sponsor information, and then we'll be back, and we're going to pick up Dr. Sanja, if you will. I want us to have you to read a little bit. You got one of your books with you. There you got it. I knew you would. And
I have my glasses on, though. Okay.
I'm gonna let you decide what chapter you want to pull out and highlight in our conversation today. I'll be stepping back and just let our audience hear from you. But at this time, let's hear from one of our sponsors, I Speak Her Totes. Sponsor alert. We're thrilled to welcome I Speak Her Totes, designed by Dr. Nikki Ziegler, as the newest sponsor of Coffee Conversations with Sandy and Book Talks podcast. For women who are bold in the boardroom, powerful in the prayer room, and confident at the brunch table, this brand was made for you. I Speak Her Totes you can find at ispeakhertotes.com and all social media platforms. Welcome, I Speak Her Totes. Yes, I Speak Her Totes. You can find, we'll put it over in the chat. Do a little bit of shopping. She has various colors of all colors. Yes, she do. Over 23 colors. The I Speak Her Totes is a tote that you can carry with an organizer. And on the very front is these beautiful, beautiful names of women of the Bible. I Speak Her Totes. We're so thankful to have you as a sponsor. At this time, yes, we're back. We're going to be hearing from our today's guest, Dr. Sanja Rickette Stinson, who will be sharing a portion of her latest book project. And this book is called Disrupt Imposter Syndrome, Boldly Shaping Your, and I only got just a little bit, boldly shaping, yes, your success. Dr. Sanja, I'm going to sit back and yell and got my piece of paper ready.
Well, what I want to say as I read this particular page, on page 15 of the book, it talks about how we must continue to show up, even when we don't feel like it, even when we are afraid, even when things are not perfect. Procrastination and perfection is a killer of our dreams, and it is a part of imposter syndrome. So I'm going to read page 15 of this book, and here's where I'm talking about my therapy. Despite the fears, well, I'm going to start from it. Throughout it all, through a flame of faith burning deep within me, and I eventually seized control of my own destiny. Today, I openly share my story, addressing and consistently challenging imposter syndrome. Therapy, coaching, mentors, and supportive friends have played a crucial role in my journey to help me overcome imposter syndrome, even at the age that I'm in. My self-doubt transformed into positive self-talk, and I began to surround myself with like-minded individuals, particularly women who wouldn't allow me to stay in a negative mindset or let me wallow. I took the initiative to continue to show up because Woody Allen says 80% or maybe 90% of success is being willing to show up. I started building proactive networks and facing my fears head on, understanding the need to break free from this cycle of imposter syndrome. I came to believe that there was a larger divine plan at work, one that involved not just my personal growth, but also my ability to uplift and empower others on this topic. That's page 15 of the book. And it talks about showing up, your ability to self-talk, but making sure that self-talk is positive. Your ability to surround yourself with like-minded individuals. And that means that your network needs to shrink for those that are always keeping you in a posture of imposter syndrome, and now surrounding yourself with positive individuals, being unafraid to seek mentorship, unafraid to ask for coaching, unafraid to invest in you. Now, this was an investment. A lot of times we want things free, but in order to overcome something, you must invest in you. And one of the reasons in the book, I say, because you are worth the investment. When imposter syndromes will cause you to self-doubt, well, should I invest in this? Well, maybe I can't do it. But what you need to understand is that when you're ready to surrender and remove imposter syndrome, you must be willing to invest in your vision, invest in your dreams. And the second thing that I will share with everyone is always showing up. Don't just show up because you're on the platform. Don't just show up because you want them to call your name, but show up because you have something deeper inside of you that knows that you need to change and that you want to grow. Understand that a coach that doesn't have a coach, you should not be following that individual. But what I say with imposter syndrome is that you must begin to challenge yourself. I chose, I selected, I intentionally chose to change the narrative of who I was going to follow, who would be able to coach me. It did not mean that the people that were part of my network wasn't still going to be a part, but they would play a different role. And as I decided that I wanted to grow and up level and follow my vision. I've learned that we don't have one vision, there are many visions. I learned that from several of my coaches that my story matters. And as long as I sat on my story, I would never be able to move out of imposter syndrome. Another famous person said is that the richest place in the world is the graveyard, because imposter syndrome will allow us to sit on our stories and not to write our stories, not to write the narrative. You have the power right now to rewrite that narrative. And Sandy, you can come in now because I could go on and on and on with this particular narrative of imposter syndrome.
Oh, yes, indeed, indeed. Let me bring you here. I'm coming in. There we go. Oh my goodness, that's so much. And you're right. We could just sit with our pen and just let you talk. Oh my goodness. Listen. One of the things I love what you said is that we have several stories in us, and what has happened is, and we've heard that over the years, and thank you for saying that today, is that the graveyard is filled with untold stories. The graveyard is filled with the not feeling that someone wanted to hear their story, so they kept it to themselves. And
let me say the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, we need to tell the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And the ugly.
We don't need to just tell the furry things of our story. We need to tell the good, the bad, and the ugly. No one knows that I had battled these learning disabilities where, I'll be real, I couldn't read, I couldn't write. That's what they said. They said I couldn't read and I couldn't write. But I had to keep showing up even though I couldn't read, couldn't write. Graduating at a very low grade from high school, now having the higher degrees that no one said that I would be able to, because I listened to that inner critic that everyone had been telling me. And I had to fight my way back to say that I know I'm worth it.
Yes. And I love that how you said you had to fight your way back. Another thing I love is that you challenged yourself. Listen, audience, that's a nugget I want you all to walk away with. We're going to have Dr. Sanja is going to give us some takeaways, but that's one. I want to grab that. Challenge yourself. Invest into those coachings. Invest into, sitting in webinars and whatever it's going to take to get you to that next space. And so she's a big advocate of that.
challenge yourself. She changed the narrative of her life. Give us one example of how you changed the narrative. And I think you already have with going back to school, but go ahead.
One of the narratives that I've changed is that I have a lot of unwritten chapters in my life. That one chapter, because one door closes, there is another door that the Lord wants to open. And so, one of the things that I have written about is that you have to recognize when that door closes, there is a reason, but you cannot wallow in that. We have a tendency, especially as women,
Yeah.
to wallow in our loss, but we also have to celebrate it because on the other side of the door, there is something bigger that needs to happen in your life.
Oh, yeah.
You are not, every day you wake up, your life shifts. And every day you wake up until you go to the graveyard, there's a new story that you get to tell. If nothing else, you woke up this morning and it's a new opportunity. The Bible says new mercies every day,
Every day, every morning.
new
Yeah.
mercies. And you can take those mercies and begin to rewrite the narrative. How did I relearn to rewrite the narrative? I kept showing up scared, showing up afraid, showing up. A lot of times I would show up and sit in the back of the room
Hmm.
because I didn't feel worthy. I
Hmm.
didn't want people to know that at the time of my younger self that I couldn't hardly pronounce words. Well, I
Hmm.
thank God for my parents who kept me in speech therapy. And as I said, sometimes you will hear that, but now I know how to do that pronunciation with my tongues and all of the therapy.
Yeah.
But changing the narrative means that you have to keep showing up and be willing to say the good, the bad, and the ugly, because somebody needs to learn from your story. There's somebody out there today
Yeah.
that is, you know, let me say this about imposter syndrome. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to recognize it. It's not a word where we want to say, well, I went through that in my life. But let me say this to women and all those that are listening. Data shows that at some point in your journey, your career, your marriage, you will in fact experience that inner critic that has held you down. And what I encourage you to do is to fight it every time. When it tells you not you're not ready, you tell it that I am ready for this right now. Maybe I'm not as fully prepared, but I'm ready to step into this journey. When that fear creeps up in you, fight it and just do it afraid. Show up afraid. Show up at those conferences, those events that you want to go through. And sometimes I had to show up alone because what I learned is that everybody on this journey and on your next journey and on your next journey and on your next journey cannot go with you.
Oh, wow. Listen, we're gonna unpack. I am ready. Telling yourself, I am ready. Shaking whatever it is going on in your head and your mind, but you're gonna still say, I
Shake it loose.
am ready. Shake it out.
Shake it loose. Was the song Shake Yourself Loose?
Yep.
Yeah, shake it loose. Okay.
I
And
love it.
so,
And
mhm.
talking to the inner critic, I'm so you're giving us the words, especially us that are. I'm in my 60s. I'll be 65 next year, and I
I'm just still
believe.
young. 65 is the new 50 these days. Okay.
Is that what's going on with me?
What's going on?
Okay, all right, I got you. I got you. So I have to do that self talk. I have to do that. I have, but and I also have to, even unafraid, I still have to show up for that next level. What it is that God's doing, and yes, listen, this is powerful, Dr. Sanja. I want to tell our audience, yes, with your book, listen, you all, you can, and she's going to let me know, Dr. Sanja, how we want them to purchase it. Do you want them to go straight to
Go straight
Amazon
to
Prime?
Amazon. Go straight to Amazon.
Okay.
You can get the book right now. It's on Amazon.com. Disrupt Imposter Syndrome and Boldly Shape Your Success is on Amazon right now. I believe it's $21.99.
Mhm.
You want to go get the book. There is some other things that come, and I'm believing God is telling me to do a workbook because I've been getting so many reviews. When people do read the book, they're saying, I didn't realize I had this, or
Yeah.
I know somebody that really needs to read this book. I have a friend, and she has friends where they have great accomplishments, and one of the friends says, I just don't know how to rewrite the narrative.
Yeah.
He said, I went to coaching, I went everywhere. Now this person has higher degrees. It's a doctor
Mhm.
person, young person.
Mhm.
She says, I understand what I'm supposed to do, but I don't understand how to rewrite the narrative. That's what this book is for. How do I rewrite the narrative? I've got the accomplishment. And let me say to those unmarried people out there, or young people, imposter syndrome has a way of saying, oh, wow, you're not married at 30 and 35. Are all my friends getting married? Oh, my goodness. I have had to counsel somewhere recently with that. Okay, so you're not married.
Mhm.
Am I worthy? Yes, you are. Well, no man's going to find me. There's a whole nother conversation. But
Right. My daughter, my youngest, 35, she's actually, yeah, questioning herself now because she's an unmarried. She's unmarried, career. Yes, she is a single parent, but
mhm,
she's like, Mom, I'm getting older.
mhm,
Yeah, yeah. So,
mhm, mhm. I've had that question since I've written this book, and saying I've had two young people in their
hmm
30s. I'm not married yet, but accomplished career,
hmm
everything. And that's the inner critic, the fear that sets in. The society will cause you to say, because you're not married, you're not worthy to be
yeah,
married. No one's going to. So, I mean, there's so many caveats that we could talk about with imposter syndrome, but please go get the book at
yeah,
Amazon.com, and it's $21.99, and really sit down and pause. Okay.
yeah.
I,
And you
mhm,
led right into the reviews. I want to share with our audience. The reviews is a five-star review, and this individual indicated very insightful. They've said insightful, and said, "What an awesome read! Helpful and insightful. I don't think you would be disappointed," as the writer says. And this review, very simple, said, "This book is so on point and must read."
mhm,
So yes, an individual. So audience, get your copy today. Just simply go to Amazon. Everybody, y'all got Amazon, and if you just type in the title of the book,
mhm,
disrupt in imposter syndrome, it
mhm,
will bring you to Dr. Sanja, or you can just type in Dr. Sanja's name up in that top little grid,
mhm.
and you'll see her various literary work, and you will be able to purchase this book. Oh my goodness, this has been good, and you have brought out so much. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
So, one of the things I want to say about imposter syndrome is that awareness is the first step.
Uh huh.
Awareness is the first step.
Being aware. Yeah.
Being aware begins the journey to disrupt it. If you're not aware of it and you keep saying, well, blah, blah, awareness is the first step. I think the second step is being willing to challenge it, which I call disrupt it. Okay. To
hmm
disrupt it. I think one of the third steps is getting amongst a group of individuals who support your success, who uplift you, who talk to you about your worthiness, who celebrate you. um,
Yes.
I think the fourth step that I would is that celebrate even the small things. If nobody else celebrate that, that Sandy, you've been doing this for I don't know how many years,
It's 6 years now, going to number 7.
so there should be a celebration.
Yeah.
You should celebrate that. No one else celebrates it but you. Because even in those 6 years, there's been some ups and downs. And I can imagine there's been some doubts. Should I continue to do this? It's not financially uh, keeping me, but Now look at you, 6 years later, people are coming on your show because they want to. They know that you have those 300 or 300 zillion people that are watching the show. And so they're saying, can I come on and do my book review? And so what I say to my audience and those that are watching, be intentional. Intentionality is a great word when it comes to this. Your daughter, she's saying, Mama, I'm not married. You know, give her this book. Say, here, read this book. I know one parent, one friend of mine, we're about the same age at 60 years and 60 years. And she said, I gave my daughter this book because I didn't realize she was struggling. One person who have read it and said, I didn't even know what imposter syndrome was. Right. And that is the issue that I'm really looking at for women. I tell them when they start having this conversation with me, I said, that's imposter syndrome. They said, what's that?
Then what's that? Yes.
When I began to explain it to them, I said, she said, yes, that's what. And this was an older lady I just encountered, older, mature, because we're all maturing. And she was really, really struggling, had closed her business and everything, and didn't know what was next, and was really questioning her worth. Successful for 20, 30 years, but God was moving her out, and now she was questioning her worthiness.
Yes, yeah. And we didn't know that term. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really, when I first heard it, I want to say maybe about a year or two ago, in doing this type of thing of interviewing others, being in a circle of women and that are in that mental health field. And I'm like, what is that? What does that really mean? But you have actually brought it home for me today, even just interviewing you. You've brought it home. You've put meaning to that word for us that we didn't know what it was. And that's just being honest. And you're probably, as you say, you're finding women that are saying, oh, that's what that's called. Oh, okay, that's what it's called. We may have just called it, procrastination, or I just don't believe in myself, or whatever. But it comes as you have now brought it all together, because there could be several things, Dr. Sanja, I think that we probably have within us that are those imposter syndrome, and it is not feeling worthy. So they may have all of the other stuff and just have that one thing, but then they may have a whole 5 things going on, and that's holding them stuck.
One of the things, and one of the chapters in the book talks about the killers, and the killer of that is we call it procrastination and perfectionists. Okay? The purpose killers are procrastinations and perfectionists. And what happens is that we want everything to be perfect. And it causes us to procrastinate until we get to a point where we never act on our dreams or our vision. Procrastination and wanting things to be right. That was me. I wanted to be perfect. I would not get on camera because I didn't like my voice, and I still don't like my voice. And then it causes us to delay, to procrastinate. And when we look up 3 to 4 years later, we have not done what we follow our vision, especially for writers and people who have, one of my coaches said, everybody has a story, but we will procrastinate saying, well, who's going to read my story, or the fear of exposure. And yes, there has to be some pain, and some discord or some loss in order for you to disrupt some things. Disruption doesn't come unless there's some failure that happens that makes you recognize that I need to do something about this. So one of the killers, or 2 of the killers, are procrastination and perfectionism.
Listen, y'all need to join me and go ahead. I'm over here on Amazon too while she's talking. I promise y'all paying attention. But we got to get a book.
Get the book. Oh my goodness. Listen, we're going to hear from CTR Media Network. And after that, we're going to have Dr. Stinson to have our last words to just, she shedded so much. I hope you had your pen, your paper, and we'll let you know how you can reach out to Dr. Stinson. And yeah, let's follow her journey. Let's follow her journey. All right. So at this time, we're going to hear from CTR Media Network.
What's something people don't know about CTR Media Network? It's where content truly meets impact. At CTR Media Network, we believe in the power of stories. Our platform is a dynamic blend of education and entertainment, crafted to inspire and empower creators like you. From insightful podcasts to transformative videos, we offer a diverse range of content that helps you learn, grow, and thrive. Our mission? Innovating media, one story at a time. Imagine a place where your voice can reach millions, where your stories can reshape perspectives. That's CTR, create, thrive, redefine. Join a community of visionary creators and make your mark on the world. Because here at CTR Media Network, your content doesn't just entertain, it makes an impact. So, are you ready to create, thrive, and redefine? Dive in and discover a new world of possibilities, where content meets impact. CTR Media Network.
Yes, CTR Media Network, where content meets impact. At this time, we are going to hear from our guest on today, Dr. Sanja Rickette Stinson. And just before she comes on, audience, we will be meeting with Dr. Tina Ramsey. We're going to have an opportunity to interview Dr. Tina. She'll be talking about, yes, the 7 things of having a podcast. And so we'll be talking with her. And then also, we have a solo book project author as well. His name is Royce Dixon Sr. And listen, you don't want to miss this interview on tonight. All right. So yeah, I got a couple of more interviews. They're on tour. We're here all for it. Okay. Well, at this time, I'm going to present to you our today's guest, Dr. Stinson. Thank you so much for coming through. We're making it happen. Listen, audience, go ahead and get your copy. Let's support this great woman of God. Definitely a thought leader, a trailblazer who sets the pace for us. And so we're so honored that she would take out her time to pen her knowledge and her journey of coming through and teaching us even the more about imposter syndrome, but also the takeaways. And yes, this is a book that is a call to action that you don't have to walk in that imposter syndrome any longer. Okay, Dr. Stinson, I'm going to yield back. All right.
All right. So I want to leave you today. First of all, I want to thank you, Sandy, for allowing me to come on to and feature this book. I want to thank you for your long dedication to uplift others as you climb, to just have this platform for individuals to come on as you spotlight that book and you spotlight that vision. It's phenomenal. Thank you for being willing to lift others as you climb. And here are the key points or the takeaways that I want to leave with you today. What I would call maybe a call to action of how to disrupt imposter syndrome. One of the first things is awareness. Today, I would hope that I shared some light on the awareness of imposter syndrome, what it is and what it is not, and how we must, as women, disrupt it, because 75% of women, especially women of color, are experiencing imposter syndrome. And so as I leave here today, I want you to look at this, that one of the things that you have the power to do in your awareness is to change the narrative. Whenever that inner critic tells you no, you say yes. The other thing is that you get the opportunity, and only you can write that chapter. Nobody else can write that chapter. Nobody else understands your story because your story is unique and it matters. And then, as Shirley Chisholm says, that I love her, she said, when they don't offer you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. Don't be afraid to look at and go into different networks in the people that you don't know. Don't be afraid. Bring your own folding chair. Network with individuals that are not like you or that you don't know. Go to networking events. Do it afraid, as I've done it. Do it afraid. Do it scared, real scared. And then don't forget to celebrate your small wins, because humility has nothing to do with the achievements that you have. And so I want to thank you, Sandy, for bringing me on. This has been phenomenal. And I hope I've been able to share with some of the listeners about imposter syndrome, and it has helped you to understand what it is. Remember, it's not a disease, it's a mindset. Have a great day.
Wow. Yes. Oh my goodness. It's not a disease. It is a mindset. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Listen, I got my book and I'm super excited. You got to come back so we can talk about it, have a book talk or anything. We'll make it happen. We will make it happen because I just know that so many women need this. And listen, it's a right now message. It truly is. Well, thank you so much. As always, we love you. We thank God for you having appreciating what we do here. And thank you for the push. I certainly appreciate it. All right. Stay with me in the green room. Listen, everyone, continue to look out for our notification. We'll be back. Yes, we'll be interviewing Dr. Tina J. Ramsey, who will be with us on this evening. And her latest book project, if y'all will allow me to pull that up right quick, her latest book project that we're going to be discussing, it is called 7 Steps to Launching Your Podcast. Yes, 7 steps to launching your podcast. And of course, if you would like to be a guest on Coffee Conversation or you would like to sponsor any of our shows, just simply go to www.ctrmedia.com and yes, click on to where it is Coffee Conversation and get us the notification. And I would love to have that conversation. Okay, how we can serve you. As always, you guys know that I love you. Listen, have an amazing, amazing day. Go out and be great. Let someone know that they, yes, have something to offer to the world. And again, we want to thank our today's guest, Dr. Sanja Rickette Stinson, who has been on the tour. And we're so excited to have her with us on today. Listen, you guys take care. All right. And we will see you soon. All right. Take it easy. Take care. And you guys know that I love you. All right.